So I had a listing I couldn't sell. So I said, do I have permission to do marketing? And the seller said, yes. I said, okay, great. So I put a sign outside that says, this ugly house is for sale.
There's a little bit of a mindset change that agents have to have in this market, which is the listing, the money you spend to market a listing, oftentimes is not thought of as a cost. I mean, that is literally the worst way to approach it.
So I have a coaching client. She did a video basically with her cell phone and where she's sharing how you can cash out on the equity of your home to keep buying your next property, whether it's an investment or upgrading your home without having to sell it or just refinancing.
Yes.
And that video went viral. She booked 30 appointments from that video. Now she's booked all the way to April.
What was it on the video that made it so special? After 33 years of being in this business, I think Just Listed and Just Sold are the stupidest marketing pieces on the planet. If I took a listing, bang, just listed. I took a bang, just sold. And we can get them to reimagine that in a more interesting way, a more consumer-centric way, a way that actually unlocks the imagination, right? You've heard me say this before. I'm like, you send somebody a just sold card, and the consumer already is thinking, real estate agents make too much money. Real estate agents like drink, Chardonnay or vodka and sleep with everybody in their office and play pickleball. And then they see your just sold card that says listed and sold in 3 days with 5 offers and got them $120,000 more than asking. And they think to themselves, as anybody should, what the hell did that person actually do?
The how we did it strategy has been one that's been pretty popular, and it's a simple next step up. Saying just listed and just sold, you're right. It's kind of like a weather person saying, hey, it's raining outside. Did you know? Like, yes, I know. And we should look at ourselves in the same way. Like, how can I give information that maybe the neighbors don't have or be really interested to know? So I think the how we did it is a simple list of bulleted points that talk about some of the highlights in the sale. Here's what went into the process so that, to your point, it doesn't seem like, what did this person even do? Are they just here at the nick of time and they're just getting all the credit, how long it was on the market, terms that we can reveal based upon the time of the process. When you can't always say the price, depending upon when you do the mailer, and so forth, or just different rules and regulations. But how many showings did we have? How many offers did we have? How many buyers are still in the marketplace looking for a home like the one that didn't sell? And do you know anybody else looking to sell? And so it shows a continued spirit of effort to serve other neighbors in that same respective community, that it's not just done.
But on the flip side, correct me if I'm wrong, what I think is so fascinating about that piece is you actually say, here's what we did over 4 weeks, and you stack it up to show your value.
So I have a coaching client. Right? So I have this client in Houston. She did a video basically with her cell phone and where she's sharing how you can cash out on the equity of your home to keep buying your next property, whether it's an investment or upgrading your home without having to sell it or just refinancing. And that video went viral. She booked 30 appointments from that video. And now she's booked all the way to April.
What was it on the video that made it so special?
The video, the message, cash out on your equity of your home so you can buy the next home and then you sell after the fact, or maybe you leave it as an investment property. So it was very attractive to the consumer. It's in Spanish. It's for the Hispanic community.
That was the key too, because we talked about, I'm like, anytime you can do 2 languages, if native is Spanish, do Spanish. If it's Portuguese, do Portuguese. If it's German, do German.
I think in real estate, we have this curse of knowledge, which is we understand these things because we live them and breathe them every single day. Most people don't know what that is. I think what jumps out to me is that there's all these things that you're explaining to consumers that we hear every day. We assume everybody else already knows that. So we don't share it. We don't promote it. We don't create videos around it. And I think that's why a campaign like that was so successful. I got a new idea that I'll pitch you guys on here in a second. But I think one thing before I share a couple thoughts here is there's a little bit of a mindset change that agents have to have in this market, which is the listing, the money you spend to market a listing, oftentimes is not thought of as a cost. It's you try to minimize it. You're like, hey, this thing's gonna sell quickly. I really shouldn't promote that. That is literally the worst way to approach it. The first time you should market a listing is when you've booked the appointments. When I book an appointment, and let's say it's 3 days out, 5 days out, I'm getting a letter in the mailbox of the closest 100 people saying, hey, I'm going to be in your area because one of your sellers or one of your neighbors is thinking about selling. And if you want me to swing by afterwards to kind of give you a free home value equity update, I'm happy to stop by. Here's my cell number, right? Now, people are going to say, oh, well, Jimmy, I can't print it and have every door direct deliver that in time because my appointments are in 72 hours. Great. Get someone on your team to go to the FedEx, print it out, and start dropping it in their mailbox. I mean, like, get to work on this stuff. First thing is that, and the beauty of this for clear cooperation is that you're not marketing a listing. You're marketing an appointment, and you can market appointments all day long. You can market them 7 days, 14 days, 20. The way I would think about this, team, is I would think about it as one continuous conversation with my neighbors. So if I'm doing that, let's say, appointment campaign, the next campaign I might send like, hey, I wanted to give you an update. Assuming they already got the other letter and now I want to give you an update. My client has decided to list the property. We're putting on the market in whatever the date is, and I'm going to invite you, using Tom's idea, to a private neighbor-only open house. Then when the home hits the market, right? The home hits the market. You did a Facebook ad, you did a YouTube ad, you did a couple direct mail campaigns, you did an Instagram reel. Hey, the home went viral. I wanted to keep you posted. As promised, the home reached 35,000 people on social media. One continuous story. And by the time they read the 5th or 6th letter, like, they know who you are.
I know.
Show the sweat every step along the way. Well, one thing that jumps out to me is, so you can make the small big and you make the big small. And so when you take a stat like that's a marketable stat, such as how long the home was on the market for, let's say it was 3 days, oftentimes that's included in like 3 or 4 different kind of talking points on a campaign. But I think the thing that we don't answer with that is, who cares? Why does it actually matter? Why does it matter the home was in the market for 3 days versus 30 days or 60 days? They've owned the house for 15 years. Why does it actually matter that the home sat a little bit longer? Our buddy Jeremy over at Palm Agent has this great app in his tool, which is called like holding cost. And you can look at how much it costs you to hold a property when the home is currently on the market. So as an example, if I'm an agent right now who sells houses, let's say, 2 times faster. Let's say my average days on market is 7 and the average agent in my MLS is 14. Well, I'm 100% faster than the average agent. So I would create a campaign around like a just sold, where we just sold this house in 7 days. The reason this matters is if a home sits on the market for 30 days, it costs you $6,000. If it sits on the market for 60 days, it costs you $12,000. If it goes 100 or 90 days, 100, whatever the number is, $18,000, and you make that number real to them. So yes, selling houses sounds great, but how do you communicate that in a way that people really understand what the cost is for holding the home?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had a listing I couldn't sell. So I said, do I have permission to do marketing? And the seller said, yes. I said, okay, great. So I put a sign outside that says, this ugly house is for sale. I was the 3rd listing. It was an expired listing.
Okay.
The third agent to list the home, and I got it sold with multiple offers. And everybody would just call me about that. They're like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "You're calling me, aren't you?"
Thank you for calling.
It's working.
Thank you for calling.
That's amazing.
I think that's good.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe doing that with someone, like I have some really high-end listings are very slow to move.
Yes.
I'm doing QR codes. I'm doing QR codes for that.
Surprise, yes.
But yeah, I think I'm going to do some more of those signs.
Yes, yes.
The thought that goes to my mind right now, or the idea I've got, and this is the truth in real estate, is that market share compounds. Which is, if you become the number 1 agent, all of a sudden you start getting listings just because you're the number 1 agent.
Of course.
And so you talk about the year in review, right? Just give everyone just a quick 30 seconds on that.
Okay, so very quickly, for, 16 years, I'm looking at Mary Jett over there, president of coaching. She came up with this concept of, you need to publish your transaction count from last year, and however you want to do it. You want to put it on a map with a bunch of dots, that's great. You want to do a bunch of big photos of all the beautiful houses, and something to the effect of, we want to thank the 2,275 people that allowed us to help them with their real estate needs in a very challenging year, which would be a nice thing to say considering it's 2023. But one step beyond that is, we talk about the challenges that most entrepreneurs face, but in real estate specifically, there's a perception. There's a perception, like they go, oh, $1 million listing. And every time they're talking about a house, what do they show on TV? $100,000 commission, right? And what happens is the consumers start to go, all they do is drink, yell at each other, sleep with people inside their office, and they make $100,000 every time they sell a house. So this perception war that we're in, what I think is, this is like my 2 cents. So you take it and you decide. What if you actually showed people what you did last year? What if you said, here's my year in review, like Spotify, like here's the top 5 podcasts you listen to, right? And this one is like, here's the 5 things that we did above and beyond for our clients. I knocked on 375 doors because 3 of my clients desperately wanted to live in a community. There was no homes in the market. I sent out 4,947 personal note cards to 5 communities when I found I did 200 open houses last year. I did 57 equity reviews for my clients. What you're doing is you're showing your friends, your sphere, your clients, you're showing them that you're a gritty business person and that you go above and beyond. So like that was the concept, because everybody's kind of done the look at me, I'm successful. Yeah. I think the more important piece is, and listen, I don't care where you are in the world, there's a percentage of the population that goes, she's got work ethic. Yeah. I like that. I'm calling her.
People like to work with people who work hard.
Yes.
And I think that, so the reason I had you share that is because that's a year in review, kind of talking about your overall business. There's a play on that came to my mind, which is, what about the month in review of your previous sales? Every sale has a marketable moment. So as an example, if I'm thinking about your business, right? We have like let's say one of your listings got, I don't know, say 15,000 video views. One of your listings you sold after 3 agents failed to sell it because you did this amazing campaign, buy this ugly house, right? One of your other campaigns may became a hot home on Redfin, and you have your 5 or 7 or 10 sales, and you just find one little, like not every home is going to hit on every cylinder every time. Right. One marketable moment, and then so like this is what we did this month, and so we're all familiar with
I love that. Like, I got an idea.
But like we're all familiar with like here's all my sales, but there's no context, there's no sweat, right?
It doesn't show me how you did it.
And I think that because every listing has a marketable moment. Sometimes you got to dig a little bit deeper, right, to find it. But like every listing has that moment.
Hey, if you need more marketing support, emails, texts, direct mail samples, check out listingleads.com. That's listingleads.com for all the marketing you need, plus fresh drops every single month to give you more stuff to go generate more listings.